Huge Palworld news update directly from Pocketpair. They dropped the roadmap for the future of Palworld. And this is really good because there's a lot of morons out there that are asking, are there going to be new pals? Will the game be updated again? How much more is there going to be? Bro, it's an early access game. They just sold millions of copies. Of course, the game is going to be continued to be supported. And a lot was confirmed before release about actually finishing the game. So we would like to share with you the roadmap for Palworld. Sales have far exceeded the development team's expectations, and we are currently experiencing many problems due to excessive access congestion, among other challenges. So yeah, that's something they keep tweeting about. Server outages, too many players for the Epic online service to handle. So yeah, the scale has gotten so big so fast, they are struggling to keep up. Kind of reminds me of what happened with Pokemon Go when it first launched. We will prioritize improving this issue first, and then move on to implementing new in-game features. Thank you for your understanding. Early access roadmap, addressing critical issues. Numerous bugs have been identified, which is the point of early access. So prioritization on fixing those. Sometimes the world date may experience rollbacks. Yeah, really cool they're fixing that. I want to know how much I've put into my playthrough, but with the rollbacks, it's hard to keep track of. Also, you can't do a 100 days challenge or update. So I'm excited about that, but also, I'm not a weirdo, so I expected the game to get fixed as issues were found. These things take time, and the game already functions better than like AAA titles, so you do you, Pocketpair. I'm down with it. Loading screen may persist when trying to load into worlds, and so on. So yeah, a lot of critical issues. However, improvements to be made ASAP. Key configuration improvements. Yes. Keybinds. There's a bit of a struggle there, not being able to change some of them, and also not being able to do like mouse buttons and stuff. So rebinding, very, very nice. And then improvements to base PAL, AI, and pathing. They janky. And they get messed up really easily, and that creates an insane amount of frustration. But of course, the developers were going to fix this, and soon. So I can't wait to see how this goes. They're aware of a lot of the issues. They've talked about getting, like, tons of support tickets. Currently, we have received over 50,000 inquiries, and that was days ago, and millions of sales earlier, so it's only gotten worse. Also, like, translating them is going to be a thing with the Japanese developer, and a lot of this getting, like, Western attention. A lot of people just kind of playing it across the world. So that's even better. And then, yeah, development team is aware of serious bugs and all that fun stuff. So they got to work on those. And then the planned future updates. PvP. Duh. Raid bosses for in-game content. Ooh, yeah, that sounds good because once you've caught the legendaries, you just infinitely scale past that and there's no more challenge, and then you can get to the point where you're just farming the in-game content for resources. PAL Arena. PvP for pals. That's going to be interesting because now we're talking like Pokemon battle stuff. And that makes competitive pal breeding and training even more insane. Also, it's really nice when it's like, yes, it's PvP for pals, so that means there's no like player interaction and guns and stuff. It's about your pals, the moveset, the strategy behind it. That's really cool, and that could also just add infinite replayability to this game that already has an insane amount of replayability, especially with the in-game content coming in. So it's just only going to get better, and then mods stack on top of that and get absolutely insane. So yeah, of course these things were coming to Palworld, but again, a lot of negative weirdos out there, so it just needs to be like hard stated and easily accessible from the developers. Steam Xbox Crossplay. Ooh. More Xbox feature improvements. Yeah, Xbox kind of having a hard time. Server transfers and migrations, improvements to the base building system, new islands, PALs, bosses, and technologies. And yeah, the map is going to expand. We can't make it to the tree, so go to the tree, get some in-game stuff right there. More PALs. That was already like confirmed in the Q&A, because they're like, yeah, we're aiming for around 100 on launch, but the more we can get out, the more we're going to do, so like huge drops right there. And with how successful the game has been, now we're talking about new entire generations of pals, more bosses, technologies, and then just expansion beyond level 50. Okay, the game is going to get crazy, and then we got the cool picture talking about all those stuff. So yeah, numerous bugs, loading screen, date rollbacks, all that fun stuff. So how do you guys feel about this? I mean, it's really easy to be like, yeah, W update, wow, the devs are so amazing. But again, like, all of this stuff was already planned and already going to happen. It's mostly like nice to just kind of see the confirmation. I don't think the PAL Arena was talked about too much, maybe in like the Discord or something. So yeah, actually turning into where we just have monster fighting, which adds more value into your training, even though if we're doing like in-game content and people are trying to play on like normal or hard mode or like adding difficulty into it, yeah, you need to like fully upgrade multiple PALs on your team with the small, medium, and large souls, and then also going for like the really good perks and breeding to make sure your PAL is actually like super duper strong to handle the current in-game content as well as future in-game content in the most efficient way possible. PvP, let's just turn Palworld into Rust. Base building, defending, destruction. They said they don't want like PvP griefing to get too insane, but that could also just kind of open up the game where now there's like, yeah, you throw like 32 people or with mods like 100 people on a server. Server migrations and also like building better servers is going to make that even better as well. And again, that's where like the infinite replayability, hundreds of thousands of concurrents just forever for Palworld now that it becomes an actual game that's like super here to stay. Like there's some really surprising stuff to see on Steam charts right now, like Counter-Strike 2. That doesn't feel like a game that's relevant enough to have 700,000 concurrents pretty much always. Also, I find it funny how you could like see the dip for some games as like people just picked up Palworld. Dota, 500,000 concurrents. PUBG, just always chilling there. Apex, Naraka, I thought Naraka was a completely dead game. And then Monster Hunter World down here at 70,000. Like, is that going to be the new floor for Palworld, especially once these updates start coming through? Also, again, like, yep, the decline. Not many people playing Monster Hunter World when they've switched on over to Palworld. Funny. And that gets even more insane with a competitive element. I think by the end of this weekend, a lot of people have like gone through all the single player content, still optimize their base, still upgrade, but there's not gonna be as much stuff. And then you like look to mods and things. So yeah, incredible foundation of a game that's going to get supported by the devs, modding team, and then just have like infinite replayability. I'm down, I'm excited, it sounds awesome, and it just gets better as Palworld does even better. Second highest all-time peak in Steam history, and it still has like the most concurrent players now, which is crazy. Beat Counter-Strike 2 somehow, and then PUBG, that was just like some kind of crazy phenomenon that somehow hasn't been topped by this point. So we're gonna see, and actually PUBG built over time. What if Palworld like does the PUBG thing? This is what like true incredible indie games and projects are about, and then just kind of updating the sales. January 23rd, 9:45 p.m. Pacific time, 7 million copies, 5 days. That's like Pokemon X and Y sales numbers. 4 million copies of the game worldwide in the first weekend, and then scaling up to, you know, like 17 million units. Best-selling titles with 11.61 by December. And then to finish off the video, an update to the Palworld hate, because not only was the AI thing a hoax, but apparently the models being copied was also a hoax, and that was admitted. In fact, the look at how the models are one-to-one Twitter user later admitted to scaling them to fit. Y'all couldn't find a legitimate reason for anger and fabricated it. I feel regretful for using exactly so flippantly here. This is why definitions exist, so you choose the correct word for what you're trying to say. I was trying to be silly. That's just a walk back after deliberately lying. Gave an incorrect impression. Like, yeah, like, wait, look at how the models are one for one. That's not being silly. I want to emphasize that while some elements are similar, these meshes are not exact. And anyone with eyes could see it. But nope, hate blinds just like that. So everything against Palworld is a fabrication. And then the other funny thing just being like, yes, Nintendo, one of the most aggressive companies when it comes to giving people like DMCA takedowns and copyright strikes or just straight up suing them, they're just ignoring Palworld. And then they'll also take down like the Pokemon mod fan project. And then people are still trying to say Palworld is stealing from Pokemon. None of it makes sense. Everything's crazy. Great news update. Hope you guys enjoy the video. Hope you all have a nice day. Thank you very much for watching.